like Don said, my name is Jesse Ray, and I've got two sons, and my oldest son is on the elder board at Grand Avenue Baptist in Fort Smith, and my youngest son, Jacob, is the worship pastor at First Baptist Greenwood. And you look at me and you think, well, they must come from a Christian heritage. But that's not the case. I didn't come from a Christian home. I was saved pretty late in life. I was in my late 20s, and I've been a pretty rebellious guy, and I did all the stuff that you're not supposed to do. That was me. And I had been through a horrible divorce. I came home one day, and my wife had left a note on the kitchen table, and that's the way I found out she was going to leave me. I found a note on the table, and so I was a pretty bitter guy, and there was some Christians in a singles group that started just driving me crazy, and they wouldn't leave me alone, and they kept praying for me and wouldn't leave me alone, and finally I went on a ski trip with them, and I had one after the other sit by me on that bus and tell me about Jesus, and tell me about Jesus, and tell me about Jesus. And so we came back from that ski trip, and I'll never forget, man, I was worse. I rebelled even worse. It was so, because I knew God was working on me, and I was just such a rebellious man. But I remember one night I had come home late from a party, and it was on a Friday night, and all these words that these people had told me, all these stories, their own personal stories about Jesus, stuck. And that night on the side of my bed, I sat there and looked in the mirror, and I cried out to God. And He saved me. And so, look what He's done. I mean, we go home to the town we came from, and when we come back, we would just, it would be just a time of revival and rejoicing in the car that we were out of a lot of that stuff that I was raised in. But anyway, after I had become a Christian, there was our music pastor at the church where I was saved, just took me under his wing, and I've always kind of played at this thing. I don't read music or anything like that. I just kind of self-taught, but he took me in. He allowed me to sing songs that, and I don't know how theologically correct they were, but I guess he saw something in me and just allowed me to do that. And so it wasn't but about maybe a week after I was saved that I sang a song that I had written in the church on a Wednesday night. And my mom and dad had come to hear me sing the song. And that night, the pastor was talking to them and went home with them, and they prayed to receive Christ. And then my grandmother and grandfather prayed to receive Christ. So it's like, God got my whole family at the same time. And so, anyway, that's pretty much my background. And I've always written these songs, and I don't know, they're probably not musically correct or whatever, but they're from me, and it's what God shows me from His Word. And the first song I'm going to do is called "What Just Happened to Me." And it's crazy. The Bible it's Matthew 8, 1 through 4. It's where Jesus cleanses the leper. And it's very short, and I don't know, Brother Joe, maybe that leper shows up somewhere further in Scripture. I don't know. But I think he's probably a believer for what he went through to get to the Lord. But anyway, I'll just kind of paraphrase it. It says Jesus was coming down from the mountains, and these great multitudes followed him and surrounded him. And a leper appeared before him and says, Lord, if you're willing, you can make me clean. And Jesus cleanses him. And then he tells him not to tell anybody and go show himself to the priest and to show that he's cleansed. And that's it. And I've heard stories about lepers and how you'd have to keep your distance and they'd have to holler out unclean and I just begin to think, what was that leper going through? So this song is basically through the leper's eyes. My eyes watched from a distance through the cloak that hid my face. People came from everywhere, there was excitement every place. Who was this man they followed? I wonder, could he be the healer they called Jesus from here in Galilee? So I stayed back, but I followed them, hoping no one there would see that I was one among them with these sores all over me. You see, I am a leper, an outcast left to die, but I feel a sense of hope. I don't know how, I don't know why. Well, as we walked, the crowd grew thicker, made it hard for me to see. Deep inside I realized it was the only hope for me. But how could I get to him? Oh, surely I'd be seen. So I closed my eyes and cried aloud, unclean, unclean. The crowd began to murmur as they pushed to get away. Overcome by panic, should I run or should I stay? But I fixed my eyes on Jesus, forgot about the crowd, and in the presence of His holiness, all I could do was bow. And I said, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. And he reached his hand and touched me, said, I am willing, you're clean. I'm clean. I'm clean. Oh, what just happened to me? I'm no longer dead inside. What just happened to me? I've been given new life. What just happened to me? I've been touched by the Lord. And now I need to tell somebody what just happened to me. Oh, what just happened to me? I'm no longer dead inside. What just happened to me? I've been given new life. What just happened to me? I've been touched by the Lord. And now I need to tell somebody, oh, I'll never be the same. I just have to tell somebody what just happened to me. That's the latest song I wrote. I've even sung this for my church. You're the first. Actually, I sang it for my small group. I haven't sang it for anybody else, but I just finished it. I've been working on it a lot of years, and I'm gonna do one more song. It's They said he was just a carpenter, Joseph and Mary's son. Elijah, John the Baptist, some other ancient one. The Pharisees called him blasphemer, demon-possessed crazy man. But praise and truth flowed out of me when he said, Simon, who do you say I am? You are the Christ. You are the Son of the living God. You are the Christ. Messiah, the rock that I stand upon. You are the Christ. You are the beginning and you are the end. You are the Christ. You are my friend. And today they say that he is dead. He's just a fantasy or a crutch that weak people lean upon. Well, he's whatever we make him to be. And they say he's just another prophet, an ordinary man. And in my prayers he speaks to me and says, Jesse, who do you say I am? You are the Christ. You are the Son of the living God. You are the Christ. Messiah, the rock that I stand upon. You are the Christ. You are the beginning and you are the end. You are the Christ. You are my friend. You are the Christ. You are the Son of the living God. You are the Christ. Messiah, the rock that I stand upon. You are the Christ. You are the beginning, and you are the end. You are the Christ. You are my friend. You are the Christ, and you are my friend. Thank you for having me.